Top of the afternoon, everybody in YouTube land. To get out of my game here, I'll figure out what time of day it is. It's 4:22 p.m. on the 19th of July. It has been a really busy day for crashes. I didn't work last night on call, the boss did. And I want to say at like about midnight-ish, he had a crash. 91 Burkhurst Euclid area, and at like 5 o'clock, almost 6 o'clock this morning, he had another one, same spot. One came to the yard, one went to their house, they paid. But looking at the log for CHP, that area was like hopping last night for crashes. They're doing construction, I guess, and they tapered some lanes out, and apparently people just can't navigate. But anywho, I'm not going over there. I'm going to La Palma. There's a crash over by the junior high school, Walker Junior High. We got a Honda, I guess that's a little different. And it's an owner's request. That's what I'm told. So we're gonna go there and handle that situation. They just called for the one car, one tow, so no big deal, works for me. Nice and easy. We'll, we'll see how bad it is when we get there. I didn't see on Paul's Point if they transported. Actually, I can look. The dispatcher called me and I'm like, you calling for us to go out to La Luna and La Palma? She's like, how did you know? I'm like, Paul's Point. It's a great app because it tells me all the crashes, or at least it tells me the fire department calls in my area. Specifically the crashes, stuff that relates to me, so it gives me a heads up. It's designed for people to help, like, you know, if you've got any kind of medical training or whatever, and say somebody's down, needs CPR or something like that, and you're in the area. It's designed to help kind of connect those people, to help people get faster medical help. You know, Good Samaritans and stuff like that, you know. It's second save lives, they always say, so. But I can look at my Pulse Point app, and given by the legends, it will tell me if they're transporting. Okay, so no, they didn't. Doesn't look like they transported. They were on scene for 13 minutes, so my guess is that the person signed a refusal AMA, which is against medical advice. They can't force you to go to the hospital unless you're unconscious, so that's what it is. Alright guys, stay tuned until we get on scene. Alright, we're pretty much here. La Luna is after the high school, or the junior high school on the right. That's that same spot where I had the Pinata Lexus. I figured out what pole it was she took out. There's a smaller pole after the light, and you can see they replaced it. So not this one, not the light, but that pole right there. That been flying, I guess. Okay, so here's La Luna. I'm gonna guess it's on the side street since I don't got nothing on the main street. Yep, okay, I see the cop. Oh yeah, it's in the middle of the street. We gotta wait for the traffic light, or the traffic, I should say. Yeah, it looks like the front end's a little different. Somebody was doing the old speed test, I guess. Not trying to get hit. There's a lot of cars coming. That's for sure. Alright, we'll spin around and grab the front end. Yep. In case you want to fill the yard. If not, I'll put it wherever they want to put it. We got liquid. A little different.
Alright, here it is, I got it. Here you go. Not a problem. Could you call somebody to come and pick you up? Or do you live down here on the street? Like we said, we were involved in the traffic related.
Okay. Formalities. I like people to feel like I'm not pressuring anybody into doing anything because I can't. I messed up on this side. Actually, not too bad. These aren't even terrible. Age might be an issue though. Before I put it on the truck, you have everything you need to get out of it right now? All your belongings and stuff?
Fire just said kind of be careful because based on the damage of the vehicle, you don't know why the airbags didn't deploy. So they recommended for her not to go back inside.
Did fire disconnect the battery?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, if they disconnect the battery, that deactivates all the airbags. I could do that. Usually the computer controls that, and they're right sometimes, but it's... Hold on a second, okay?
Can you open?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. But it was probably such a low speed, that's why. Because the computer...
The airbags for the other car deployed.
They might have been going fast enough, but this one's older too. I think of these older cars, you had to be going like above 25 miles an hour or something like that. There was a speed limitation. If you weren't going fast enough, the airbags wouldn't go off. They changed that with some of the newer cars, but you still got to be going fast enough in a sense for it to decide it's better to deploy, because at low speed, getting a face full of airbag may not be the safest option. We grab a different wrench. Hold on, let me get the battery taken off so that there's no chance of the airbags possibly going off. Okay. All right, we're shut down, we're deactivated. Okay. So with that said, you got everything out of the car you need right now.
No, I still have time.
You okay? Grab my broom. I'm gonna do a little sweeping while you do that. Kind of gets me with fire. If they were such worried about the airbags, all they do is undo the battery. Because once you pull the battery, the airbags need the 12 volt from the battery to trigger the bag to go off.
You, sir, need a raise.
I've just been doing this too long. Plus, if I can roast the fire department, why not?
Any chance that we can get
Oh, of course. Nah, we have a good deal with them too.
So I should go to your place, right?
So Monday.
Monday?
Well, you want to go? What do you need to go there for right now?
So I'm wondering. So I should call my insurance, right?
Well, you can call your insurance, yeah.
Yeah, cause I haven't called them yet. Cause I'm.
You don't have to call them right now.
Yeah.
You have time. You don't have to call them like immediately this moment.
Okay.
You've got plenty of time because you have up to a year to call and
Oh.
file a claim. I'm not saying you're going to take a year. You have up to a year, which means you have lots of time. It's the weekend. Insurance isn't going to do anything on the weekend.
Okay.
They work business hours. They might answer the phone, file your claim, but they're not going to move physically on moving anything until at least Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, let me see.
So you've got time.
Where's the car you gave me?
If it's easier for you and you've got your phone, just take a picture of the side of the truck. It has all the information on there.
Where?
So on the bed, the address, and on the door is the name and the phone number.
Oh, okay.
Just take a picture. That way you have it in your phone.
See, my brain just like doesn't work.
I get it. It happens all the time. And that way, you've got it on your phone. You always have your phone with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay? All right. I'm gonna get pulling this guy up now. Okay, I'm gonna have to... Actually, you know what? No, I'll just take the brake off. That wheel's stuck anyways. My name is Matt. Yes.
Matthew, right?
Matthew, yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Quick strap this, that way I can get out of here. I know they want to go. I got some guys to strap my box. At least this one's not in the front lawn of the high school, the junior high school. That'll fit for now. Driving like they don't give a frick. Welcome to the city of... And then, is this thing old enough? It's new enough. There's a hole right there. Look at that. There we go. There's our T-hook slot. got more places to put stuff. This is all by feel right now. There we go. Say goodbye to her. I don't want to be a douche and just leave. Yes, that's it.
Okay, I will call this number.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a better day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kindness to people, absolutely 100% goes a long way. You know, yeah, it takes time. The cops want to leave. It's fine, but still got to be kind to people. All right, we're going back to the yard with this one. See you when we get there. Okay, we're back. I had to make a little Home Depot pit stop and spend way too much money. So, this one might actually still kind of back up. It's not gonna drive down the street, not with the way that wheel's bent, but I'm pretty sure I can back it off the truck as long as the axle's not broken. The transaxle, not the lower control arm. That's obviously bent. So right now it's in park, which means I can totally just unhook everything. I will take all this stuff off the deck. And the other one I had, that one that took out that telephone pole, the insurance company picked it up, but they didn't take the pole. They left us with it. I think the other guy already cut it up. I think. So I don't believe I see it anymore. I had to move stuff around this morning because I thought we were going to have more coming in. I guess not as much as. So the Nissan came last night. That was a crash on 91. The back end's toast. And then the other one he did this morning didn't come here. It went to the lady's house. That's the Equinox I brought. Insurance is going to pick that up. I'm just looking to see if we have any more debris. We did have to throw away a bunch of stuff from that exploding Lexus. So this stuff usually stays until the vehicles get picked up, and once they get picked up, it's usually the tow truck position to take all the stuff with them. That I didn't. That was the one I got the other night. That I didn't videotape dropping it in La Palma's yard, but I guess they did wind up calling us to unlock it, and then the agency that had the stolen report on it did their thing, and then they just like, you know what, you guys take it to your yard and they can deal with you. So it got towed back in. I didn't do it. I was on lunch break. I lucked out on that one. Okay, so nice thing about this truck is, at least with the new switch set up, I'm waiting to see. Actually, I'm waiting to see if CHP is going to call us potentially on the Seal Beach one. They got a crash at 405 at Seal Beach. They got a traffic hazard at Fairview. They haven't called anybody yet. They got a traffic collision at Fairview. Those guys are on the shoulder, so they'll probably leave them. All right, so the nice thing about with the switch panel on here is I actually have the app, and as soon as it loads up, I can control everything via the app and the remote. But on my PTO. Every function on that is controllable through the app, so including the lights and stuff too. The nice thing is I don't have to run back inside the truck to turn things on. I don't need to. Like in this case, I don't need to. Yeah, it's in park. Okay, so let's take the chains off. These, you guys have seen these plenty of times. I'm an act for having custom things to make my life easier. I came across these T-hooks. They had some other, it was a cluster with a chain. And so I just cut the rest of the cluster off because I don't use R hooks and T hooks if I've got finger hooks. Oh. These pretty much work on everything. So I have those. Okay, I don't need the J hooks hooked up to it anymore, or the winch I should say. I can't feel under there. Am I still hooked to this side? Yeah. It's just in there. That's because the deck's high. Can't reach that. So that hooks off. I'm gonna lower the deck. So I'm trying to fight it. Just rub my leg across that roller back there, so that makes it fun. All right, so that hooks off. Okay. I put the battery back on so I can roll the windows up. Generally, the airbag shouldn't go off. I know fire always worries about that, especially if they didn't deploy in the crash. However, this is an 09 Honda. This could be affected by that Takata recall, and it could still have the Takata bags in it. And if it does, yes, I would be worried. The likelihood, watch I say that as the airbag blows in my face. Maybe it did. No, I think it busted the radiator. I don't think it got the axle. Back it up a little bit more. All right, we're gonna call that good. Yeah, I mean, I knew it would go backwards because the wheel's gonna move forward and away from that fender. It's just going forward. That wheel's gonna hit. It's gonna want to push back in. So there's the horns on Honda if you ever wonder where those were. I'm not actually worried about disconnecting the battery in this car. I just did that for the safety on scene, especially since, you know, I got other people going to be going into it. But that was my thing too. Like, if they were worried so much about the airbags, why didn't they just disconnect the battery? Because the charge cans trigger off 12-volt power. I know I've blown up many airbags. So they trigger off 12-volt power. Then unless you need power for them to go off. It's just how the fan works. Now there could be a wire, say, got nicked or something like that, which could possibly trigger it, and you know, yeah, I'd worry at that point. But that's the thing, like, if you just disconnect the battery, that should prevent anything from happening. So yeah, I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a stupid tow truck driver. You know, we're the scum that rip people off and do all this shit. That's what people say, but no, not all of us are like that. We're not those guys that everyone sees on the news, especially right now in California, yanking people's cars that they shouldn't be touching. You know, this is a rotation program. We're actually contracted with the police department. We're not, you know, Joe Schmo tow truck that just heard a crash on a radio scanner and showed up. It doesn't work that way. We don't do that. But there were companies doing that in the Palisades, yanking people's cars for the insurance money, and they weren't called there by the police, they weren't called there by the city. They just showed up and coaxed people into taking it back to their body shop that they work with. And usually stuff like that, there's kickbacks and all kinds of other things, and a lot of it was tow trucks that weren't even legal. You have to have a license in California to operate a tow truck. And there's a lot of guys out there that want to make the money moving stuff around but don't want to license it. And Well, that's a problem. If you're not, you know, you're not doing things the way you're supposed to be. So, yeah. This thing leak on my bed? Nah, it didn't. Okay. So, with that said, you know, you've got to be, yeah, you got to be legit. They changed the laws years ago that require us, whenever a tow truck comes to our yard to pick up a vehicle, same thing goes for us. If we go to a tow yard and pick up a vehicle, that you have to present your motor carrier permit, your operating permit, and your driver's license, and the tow company has to maintain a copy of that in their records with each one for 2 years. I've had the same tow company come here plenty of times, and every time I've taken a copy of their license, their tow license. It's a motor carrier permit for transporting goods for hire. That's what it's called. And that applies to anybody transporting anything for monetary compensation. So if you take your pickup truck and say, go rent a trailer and help your buddy move his car, and he pays you even just for the gas or even just lunch, that is doing business for hire, and you're legally required to have that permit. I mean, I get it, you're helping a buddy. You know, if it's gas and lunch, I don't really care. But if you're doing it and then homeboy's paying you, you know, a good chunk of money to move that car for him, then I do care, because you're doing it illegally. And that requires a motor carrier permit. It requires insurance too. You know, that's another thing. It requires the insurance. What happens if Joe Schmo's tow truck that you hired because he was cheap wrecks your car? Well, his insurance is supposed to pay for that, but what happens, you know, when that happens and Joe Schmo's tow truck that you used, because he was cheap, because he wasn't licensed, because he was cheap, wrecks your car, well, he's got no insurance for that. So now you're screwed. Yeah, good luck. Anywho, that's the reason why things are the way they are, is because people take advantage of it, and I hate tow truck companies, tow trucks like that, scabs as we call them, because they give all of us a bad name. You know, we're a legit business, been here for over 40 years, doing things the right way. And then you get Tom, Dick, and Harry's Blow Schmo towing that comes with a one truck wonder and does some shit they shouldn't be doing, and then it becomes a big news story, and then everyone looks at us bad again. Same thing goes with the PPI stuff. It's so easy to follow the rules doing private property impounds, but yet you get some companies out there that their drivers are out yanking cars that they probably shouldn't be, or not doing it the right way, and then something happens and it makes a big news story, and then they look at that as predatory towing. It's not really, but you're doing it the wrong way. It is, you know. But a lot of those guys work on commission, so they're incentivized to pick up those cars and try to get them, because, you know, you're not making any money if you're not yanking cars. You know, sad to say. I mean, I get commission for some of the stuff I do, but that's after hours. I'm not out there looking for work. I go when I get called. Otherwise, I'm looking for sleep, and that's how it works. So, you know, I get paid normal the rest of the time, which is like this tow. I don't make any extra money bringing it here, none of that stuff. And this is my normal time to work, so I'm getting paid whether I bring it here, I don't bring it here, whether I tow it, I don't tow it. I get paid the same. So there's no incentive for me to bring that in during my normal work time. There's no incentive for me to bring them to the yard. You know, I get paid regardless, so. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. I'm ranting. See y'all in the next one.